What is going on? I'm zmoT. That is zmoT in your creator code as you're collecting those 9 free diamonds every single day. Do sneak over there, check your code, make sure it's been renewed. Annoying. I've been told not to apologize about that. If you look at my log, you'll see that I have been absolutely getting pummeled on this account. This is my lower of my 2 accounts, below 50% win rate. I can't remember a season where that has happened. So what I'm doing this season is I have been holding out hope. No smoke, no warriors, no mortars. No mortars was a choice that not many people made, so I stuck with that, trying to do something a little bit different. Also, no Zookas, which has been both good. A lot of people I'm seeing are using too many Zookas on their heavy Zooka attacks. If you're failing with Zookas, try taking a few Zookas out. All heavies do fairly well at the 12, 13, 14 sort of area. Using Everspark at tick 3, tick 2 was good enough until people started getting building health, and then that explosive charge needed a little bit of an oomph. My rocket launcher's at tick 2. The reason for that is I wanted to keep my tokens for my Grens. Grens are like this glowing spot of hope. But do be aware, there are some caveats with that. You can screw up completely and utterly with them as well. Primarily with critter launchers. If you have critters in and amongst your Grenadiers, the Grenadiers are going to play past the hot potato and things are going to go poorly. You'll notice that our villagers have their party hats on. If you didn't see my video yesterday, do go check it out. Bottom line, the boom boxes are available. For those of you who don't know what the heck I'm talking about, it's these things right here that make that Supercell startup sound that makes your significant other angry. I don't know about you guys, but anytime my wife hears that sound, I just instantly hit the mute button, and it's not a good thing. Yeah. Aren't you supposed to be doing something? Bring? No. Anyways, moving on forwards. I have been using, up until this point in the season, I've been using almost exclusively explosive charge, with the exception of times when I have to use Critter Swarm. We're going to use Critter Swarm on this time. I've been using Universal Remote anytime they've got a mortar at about this location, because that way you can bypass that and it doesn't end up killing all of your Grenadiers. So we're going to go something like this. Now, because they don't have rocket launchers, I probably didn't need to bring any medics, but we're going to do it anyways, just because why the heck not? I am going to take the headphones off my ears because they are way, way, way too loud and shouldn't be needed. So now we're just going to make sure we shock that right there. Uh-oh, Critter Swarm was not a good idea. Critter Swarm is only going to get more critters out. Who would have guessed? This would have been a perfect time to have the Universal Remote because we could have hacked that right-hand side mortar, but I did things wrong. So definitely making a couple mistakes on this attack, but overall, Grenadiers, just this shining light. And I know some of you out there really, really don't like Grenadiers because they miss a lot. And you need to lean into that. Lean into the fact that they miss. And you'll see that they're doing things like damaging sniper towers behind those things. They're going to do all sorts of damage on buildings behind where you need them to make damage, which is going to be great because mortars outrange Grenadiers, and by throwing over top of cannons and flamethrowers and machine guns and sky shields, you're gonna get all sorts of wonderful, wonderful damage. That sniper tower could theoretically take out a bunch of our Grenadiers, but because we are throwing over that engine room, we're gonna end up doing great, great things with them. So, Grenadiers, it's gonna get worse. People are switching to damage amplifiers and they're getting their rockets maxed and they're getting boom cannons and things. So this is definitely a sunny period. There is rain on the horizon. Just a reminder, I did design these decks. I did not design this season. So please judge the two of them separately. The decks are beautiful and great. This season is a bit of a fizzle fest, which some people like and people with instant training really, 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 really don't like. So please judge those two things separately. And if you're using my deck builder, by the way, do check the description down below for the deck builder if you want to submit your own decks. Do keep in mind that if you're thinking of making like these skinny decks, which we can't see here, but we're over on the 3-engine room, that right-hand side, do maybe leave a note saying like no critter launchers before 4 engine rooms or something, because those choke points are not super duper happy for many people. So wanted to leave that out. If you're going to design some decks, maybe leave some notes as far as what you think the early meta might be, where you think there should be certain things. Put a little bit of thought into it, and it'll go a long ways towards potentially getting into the game. Anytime there's going to be those skinny decks, I know people want to make like that one deck that goes all the way around the outside, but maybe just maybe not the best idea. So what are we going to do here? Do we go fast? You know what? I'm just going to go stupid slow. No one has cleared my base in a long time, which is a little bit surprising considering my rocket launchers are super low level and I don't have mortars. This person also doesn't have mortars though, so they're likely going to be hitting us with Grens. They are likely going to be faster than us. I just realized that. So this is where you start having to think about what sort of tech your opponents are going to have. Ooh, Grenadiers getting up close and personal. That is another note. If you've never used Grenadiers, they are far more accurate the shorter their throws. I do not recommend getting them up that close though. So we are going to leave our critters to finish off that engine room. Should help us get a little bit faster than if we stuck around there. Also, Everspark can only drop 12 critters total. So as we get over to this right-hand side, Everspark is not going to drop any more critters, which could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. Realistically, all of our critters are going to come all at once now. I just sort of lied to you. I said that Everspark can't drop more than 12 critters at a time. That doesn't apply to her critter swarm. Her critter swarm can keep critters coming out all sorts of willy-nilly, but it depends on her passive ability can only have 12 critters out. Sorry, I guess I should be a little bit more accurate in my tellings. And right about now, Grens chucking over top is my #1 goal. Just getting the Grens. Look how they're going to start doing damage on all of those critter launchers. The critter launchers can't range us because that sky shield and machine gun are keeping our troops off. So many good things involved in the Grenadiers and with the critters, and there's just a lot of good things going on here. One of the other details which I didn't mention, which I probably should have, is obviously we are not losing nearly as many troops. So if you don't have instant training, this is a great troop combo. Now, right about now, I've got some critters in and amongst my troops. If you're starting to get to that point where you're starting to see critters towards your troops and your Grenadiers are about to finish off a building, consider either flaring a building or, as I did there, hitting critter swarm so that your critters kill those critter launcher critters. Really, the only way you can tell that they're critter launcher critters is that they got that health bar above them. And would love to see those things turn to red so it was way more obvious what the heck you're looking at. But that just isn't in the cards at the moment, it seems. They put in a bunch of changes for warriors. Do consider subscribing to get that video later on. This is slow. Like, this is not a fast attack at all. We are very much likely bound to lose because, as you can see there, our opponent is almost certainly using Grenadiers as well. This is going to be my slowest Grenadier attack, and of course I can't show you that because my log is full of fizzles, which means that I can't show you the times. Would like to be able to do that as well. I think my average time with Grens is in the neighborhood of 1:50. I'm getting like some mid 2-minute times for those bases where you just go right. And that is why you're starting to see bases with some engine rooms to the left, simply to slow things down a little bit as Nemesis does the full-on retreat. Curious to see if they're using heavy Zuka or if they're using Grens. They had to be using Grens, but maybe, just maybe, my rocket launcher setup slowed them down enough. By the way, this base should give one more shout out. Where are you? This base was originally designed by Zen Buddha. I stole Zen Buddha's base. He also did not have the mortars. He still does not have mortars. So interesting detail. Also switching to that shock blaster. My assumption is as people start to see more and more Grens, their bases are going to become more and more susceptible to being hit by heavy rushes. So I think right about here is when I got Grens just starting to cruise through. Grens, getting every engine room always, and before that, getting not a lot. Go get your Grens, get them maxed, and reminder, you need about 750,000 tokens to max those Grens, so don't get super greedy on rocket launchers or Everspark. Do save some of those tokens for Grenadiers. You will not regret it all that much. We're going to throw you over there. I don't want to mess with this front part of my base. That's why I just kind of snuck in the rocket launchers towards the back. We are at the 11-minute mark. We'll do one more hit just so that I can lose my winning streak. It's one of those things where as soon as you notice you're on a winning streak, it's doomed. You can't look at those things. I would love to bring you guys with me into gold, but I just don't think I'm going to be able to get there in the next 5, 7, 10 minutes, whatever the heck it's going to be, as we get those critters out front to try to save ourselves. A Grenadier did manage to do it. You might be thinking that's a little bit silly, but every Grenadier is needed. The more troops you have, the more spread out that damage is from those rocket launchers, from those mortars. Definitely need to be a little bit careful, especially as we get into the range of these mortars. Probably a waste of a shock, but at the same time, I'm pretty much okay with that. We're going to come over into here now, and the reason for that is I want all of my troops chucking at that flamethrower right there. That way we can hopefully get rid of that there. Nope, didn't happen. Was really hoping we could get rid of one or more of those critter launchers. Did not happen though, so now we need to come over to this right-hand side and see if we can't get our troops. We gotta throw against something. That sky shield is going to be helpful. Definitely. Now, this is that moment where I said you need to be careful. Our troops thankfully threw over. You see that Grenadier? Grenadier in a world of pain there because a couple critters got up close and personal, and as a result, our Grens threw at their own troops. Not good at all. Critter Swarm bringing out some critters, trying to get our critters to kill their critters before our Grenadiers kill our Grenadiers. Don't put Grenadiers in. Don't put baby in a corner. That's a thing, right? I should know what. Is that Dirty Dancing, maybe? Anyways, don't put Grenadiers in a corner. They will. Like, you need some space. If you've never played with Grenadiers, please hit me up in the comments. I can direct you. By the way, you can use these guys on the main base at a very low level. They are a fantastic troop. So if you're running out of troops on warships, load them on the main base. Great way to practice with them, and they are a fantastic troop that gets a very bad name. These guys before Bombardiers came out were one of the most strong ways to clear your map without losing any troops. But they require a little bit of knowledge. You gotta watch for different things than if you're using tanks or Zookas or warriors or whatever the heck it might be. So do load these guys on your main base. Use them. They are a fantastic troop that a lot of people hate. And if you hate them, trust me, reset your brain. They are a great troop. They just need a little bit of love. And as you saw here, we lost, what's that, 3 Grenadiers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Grenadiers. For a troop without instant training, great way to go. So lean in to our friends, the Grenadiers. As you saw there, we got every single engine room, as our opponents only got 1 or 2 or 3. So, you know what? Screw it. We can get to, we could get into gold on this attack. Chances of getting 16 stars, pretty slim, but we'll do one more. I didn't realize we were that close. That win streak, doing great thing, 59 out of 60. It's always 59 out of 60. This season, I gotta say, for some reason, I had exactly 28 keys for that. I had exactly whatever keys for this. I've had the perfect number of keys a lot, so it's sort of fitting that I'd be at 59 out of 60 stars. Win or lose, this is the last attack of the video. I still owe you guys a Warriors video showing off the differences. It's not necessarily a bad thing, it's just a different thing. I think that makes sense. Wonder if we can get a Grenadier or two over there just to try and save ourselves a little bit of time and pain and suffering. I am not going to deploy Everspark at this moment. My thinking is that we can get all of our Grenadiers to get rid of all of that stuff in behind by not bringing out Everspark. We're not going to get her critters, which means that her critters are not going to draw the fire of those, whatever the heck those things are called. Oh, we're about to walk into a wall of boom mines though, so that's not super duper awesome. Average attack. The fact that they've got that engine room on that left-hand side is a little bit throwing me off, but it shouldn't. I mean, we're going to lose a couple of our troops, but not a ton. So I don't recommend putting an engine room over there. I think that's a terrible, terrible idea, but maybe it's working out for them in some way, shape, or form. Our Grenadiers just chucking over all of the things, no problems there. Everspark died, which frankly is not the worst thing for this attack. We are in a great spot where our troops are chucking over top of things. Now, quick reminder, Grenadiers do not outrange cannons always. They do not outrange troops all of the buildings all of the time because they like to bunch up. Sort of like Zookas outrange flamethrowers most of the time. Same deal with Grenadiers. Grenadiers outrange critter launchers and cannons and machine guns most of the time. They also, you can get your Grenadiers to outrange sniper towers. Some of you are going to call baloney on that. It is 100% true. You can have your Grenadiers in this perfect Pythagorean spot where they get a little bit more range than sniper towers. I believe it's, you have to be to the bottom right of them, I think. Anyways, at times I've had two Grenadiers outrange the same sniper tower, so there are a couple sweet spots where you can outrange sniper towers. It is frankly very, very rare though, so I would not bank on being able to flare your Grenadiers into that sweet spot. See this? Grenadiers outranging, I mean, chucking over top. The fact that they miss, they're hitting all the buildings in behind. If you're gonna throw critters, which of course no one can do on warships, but on that main base, throw your critters in front. You'll notice that they're not missing in front. They're always missing long. Use that to your advantage. I am likely preaching to the choir. We are gonna get into gold. We could retreat right now. I'm kind of tempted to do that, actually. Once we get this next engine room down, just to save our opponent a little bit of time, and we don't need any of those engine rooms. And if you're asking yourself why after this engine room, I always am super, super afraid of retreating and having the engine rooms backwards. Like, I've only got 3, they've got 2, like having those numbers backwards. So just to get a visual confirmation that yes, indeed, we are going to win, and away we go. Is that silly? Yes, but you gotta remember, I'm doing this whole thing live, and there's been way too many times where I've said war factory when I meant warships, and I've done silly things because this is all live, unscripted, as we work our way through this. This person force quit, of course they did. So many force quits this season. I 1000% blame that on Everspark. Everyone is force quitting because why would you not? Everspark might get a little bit extra percentages. Into gold we go. Golden Grenadiers. Maybe that's going to be the thumbnail and title. We'll have to wait and find out. Anyways, that is all for me. As always, hit me up in the comments. If you like this video, consider thumbs upping, telling your aunt, spreading the love, giving a comment, clicking the bell, all of those YouTubey things that I hate ragging on, but kind of have to sort of do a little tiny bit. I shall talk to you soon. Keep that submarine diving. Keep your sculptor banging away. I'll talk to you soon. I'm zmoT. Thanks for coming in. Peace.